Everybody, welcome to section 2.1, inputs and outputs. This is example number 5, and we're talking about how to evaluate a function when given the input and how to find the input when given the output. So when we find the input, we evaluate the function. So when we have the input, we evaluate the function. When we're looking for the input, we solve the equation. Okay, so let's look. An epidemic of influenza spreads through the city. The figure to the right shows the graph of I equals F of W, where I is the number of individuals infected, and that's in the thousands, W weeks after the epidemic begins. So first, evaluate F of 2. So we're going to look to the graph this time and look over at 2, W, for weeks, and we're going to go up and we see that F of 2 equals 7. And we need to interpret that. So there's the evaluation. Okay, so what it's saying is that 2 weeks after the epidemic begins, 7,000 people are infected. Okay, now in part B, it's not that we're evaluating, we actually have to solve. Notice how it says solve this time. So we're looking now to where our graph hits 4.5. Now 4.5 is our y value. So you can see if I draw this line out, I see 2 times where my graph hits at 4.5. 4,500 people infected. That's when W equals 1. And when W equals 10. What that means is that there are 2 times where there are 4,500 people infected. Okay? After week 1 and then again in week 10. And that would make sense because at the beginning of flu season, when it's starting, right, more people are getting infected, and then, maybe spring hits and the warmer weather, and so less people are getting infected, maybe more people get flu shots, and then the number of people getting infected decreases. So it increases, then decreases, so think of a slide, right? And then you can see twice where we hit the same number of people infected that week. So if you have any questions about example 5, please go ahead and type below, and we will see you for the next video.